There are no mistakes, there are only lessons. Happy Friday, everybody. I got an interesting one for today. It's all about kind of the mindset around the doing versus the not doing. So this is kind of the crux of it. A lesson is repeated until learned. And the lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you have learned it. What I love about this one is life keeps hitting us with the information that we need to learn. The question is, how long is it going to take you to learn it? And are you open to learning that lesson? So often we keep repeating segments of our life because we never learn the lesson. And life is here to teach us something, and it's going to keep beating us over the head until we're, stubborn or not stubborn enough to actually go and learn it. And the other half of the equation is there are no mistakes, only lessons. Growth is a process of trial and error, aka experimentation, and that failed experiments are as much a part of the process as the experiment that ends up working. I don't know if you've ever heard the story of WD-40. WD-40 was actually a water displacement test, and it was the test number 40. That's where the name came from, WD-40. So water displacement test 40. They were actually coming up with a way to, I think it was ball bearings was, I think, the test of how to juice them up. But it ended up being an amazing other application. And so this is kind of where the lesson comes in, right? No matter if we think we've failed or passed the experiment, there's always something to learn from it. And if we keep that open mind and keep pushing through, so for example, the first time you do something, it's always going to be bad. Unless you get lucky, which is possible. But the next second time, you're like, okay, well, this is what I did wrong. This is what I could do better. Let's go again. And by the 100th time, by the 1000th time, you're pretty much a master. Bruce Lee was, I believe, quoted saying something like, I fear not the man who knows 1,000 kicks, but the man who practiced one kick 1,000 times. And what he's trying to say is, if you've practiced one thing 1,000 times, you're going to be really good at it. Versus somebody who just knows a little bit about everything, they're not as much of a threat. So when you're looking at somebody, I think Tim Ferriss talks about the 10,000 hour principle. As long as it's applied effort in jiu-jitsu and other karates, it's not just that you're practicing someone. The other person has to be resisting you. Otherwise, you're not really being a competitive, right? And you're not gaining as much knowledge. So when we're at work, or we're building our own business, or we're prospecting, or whatever the case is for you, the act of doing, we're going to fail. But the cool thing is we're going to learn from it. We're going to be better. And if you stick with it, and that's the key, really, you'll become a master. It's just a matter of how many repetitions it takes. So keep your vision fresh in your heart. I think it was Earl Nightingale, or maybe it was Napoleon Hill, said, I'm glad the idea used me. And what they're saying is, like, the ideas just kind of come to us, right? And at first we have to nurture, we have to kindle the flame of that idea, that passion. Otherwise it dies early on. But after it's kindled, and after it turns into a roaring fire, that fire warms us and keeps us going. So be kind, be gentle to those ideas that kindle within you. Feed that fire, let it burn within you, and once it turns into a passion, nothing can stop you. So I hope this hits you well today. If you have questions, need help with something, feel free to message me, like and share, and appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow.